Hello you guys, welcome to my channel, No Fear _ Jasmine. This is your girl Jasmine. Today we're getting into a no fear topic. Okay you guys, so the question for today is, how can I gain self-esteem? Okay, so I think that this is an important topic within itself because self-esteem has plagued a lot of individuals. Low self-esteem, I should say, have plagued a lot of individuals, especially when you're looking at the different things in this world as far as social media. You're looking at TV, you're looking at things that you look at on magazines or maybe even read in magazines, is that we have different opinions of different individuals on how you should look, how you should be, how tall, how small, how wide, how young, just all these different things that play a lot on giving us their own outlook of what they think that we should be like and what they think that we should do and how we should look and just all those different things like that. So with that being said, you have a lot of people that suffer from a low self-esteem because they're trying to meet the expectations of what other individuals have set. And so therefore, that's why you find that. So today I want to talk about how can you gain self-esteem. And so first, before I even get into that, I wanted to give the definition for self-esteem. And self-esteem, and I had to look this up, y'all. Okay, self-esteem is confidence in one's own worth or abilities, and also means self-respect. And so the number one thing that sticks out to me is confidence. And I think before you can even look at how to gain self-esteem, you have to look at how did you lose it, okay? What took place to cause you to lose your self-esteem? And I know that within itself can be traumatic for some people because I don't know, maybe you experienced being bullied. Maybe you have experienced, someone that told you that you have to look a certain way. And so therefore you're trying to meet that expectation of what that individual is saying. And so therefore you felt like you just couldn't reach it, and it can be traumatizing for some. And maybe you're one that maybe you got up in front of a crowd to speak, to do a speech, and you messed up really bad and everybody laughed. And so maybe that is what caused you to, lose your self-esteem. There's a lot of things that can cause an individual to lose their self-esteem. But in order to gain it back, you can't be afraid to look at those areas. It's so easy to run from things that seem so difficult to face. But you have to understand that the only way that you're going to face it or the only way that you're going to change is if you face what it is that tried to hold you bound or tried to hold you back. So that's what I would say first. First things first, to gain your self-esteem. What caused you to lose it? What caused you to lose that self-esteem? Was it that boyfriend that told you that you weren't pretty enough? You didn't look like Jay-Z's wife, Beyonce? Was it when you stood up in front of that class to do your speech and you messed up on a word and people were snickering and laughing at you, so now therefore you don't want to get up in front of people no more? Was it that when you were at your job and they promoted you to be the manager or whatnot, but people caught whiff of it, they heard about it, and so therefore they talking about you and different things like that, which caused you to feel like, well, maybe I don't deserve this position, so therefore you reject the position, or maybe you don't pursue the position because of what they said. So there's a lot of different things, but you have to be willing to go back and not be afraid to go back to that. Okay, and in that you're able to analyze, okay, why was this said? Okay, 9 times out of 10, when you find someone that is, for instance, I use this for an example, when I had said that those people that maybe have been talking about you or whatever like that because they feel like you don't deserve that promotion. 9 times out of 10, they talking about you because they want to be in that position. So they know the only way that they can kind of get some type of gratification out of not getting that position is putting you down and making you feel like you don't deserve it, so that you can give up that position. So it takes things like that, because maybe in going back into those moments of where you feel like you have lost it, you can kind of get an idea of, okay, really, is this person, like, seriously, why did they say that? You get what I'm saying? Even someone that talks about you not being beautiful enough, if someone's saying that that you're not beautiful enough, or that you're not handsome enough, there's something within themselves. You get what I'm saying? They have some issues within themselves to try to make you feel that way. Then the next thing that I would say is that in order to gain self-esteem is not being afraid to put yourself in a position that you may feel uncomfortable in. What do I mean by that? If you have lost your self-esteem, and I use this a lot because with this example that I'm about to tell you, because I was one that was afraid to get up and speak in front of people, because I felt like, oh my gosh, I was going to mess up and people are going to laugh at me, and I just don't never get my words right. And so in that regard, that's what made me lose my self-esteem when it came to getting up in front of people and speaking. So I said to myself, I looked at what I did or what happened to make me lose that self-esteem in that area. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to do opposite. So what did I do? I put myself in positions to where I had to get up and speak more in front of people. And in that, it just taught me how to, not be afraid of what people think, not be afraid of them laughing, not be afraid of what they say. It helped me to gain that tough skin. And then soon, hey, they laugh at me when I said something wrong. Shoot, I'm laughing at myself. Like, that was funny, wasn't it? So, and in that, I was able to gain that self-esteem, my self-esteem back in that. So I would say do something opposite. So if someone's telling you that you're not beautiful enough, instead of you believing that you're not beautiful, say, I am beautiful. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am handsome. I do look good. And what else do you do? Hey, dress yourself up or do things that make you feel beautiful, or that makes you feel like you do look good. You get what I'm saying? So you want to do opposite than what someone else is telling you. Another thing that I would do to gain self-esteem is talk positively to yourself. Self-talk is so important, because what you say out your mouth is so powerful, those words alone. So if you're someone that speaks a lot of negativity, well, what are you going to reap back? Negativity. If you're someone that speaks positive, you're going to reap back positively. I strongly believe that you are what you think. So you want to make sure that you change that way of thinking, of you feeling however it is that you feel, that's causing you to have low self-esteem. So you're wanting to engage in positivity. So some things that you might tell yourself is, I am beautiful. I am handsome. I am smart. I shall make it. I will be successful. Another thing that I do to help enable that positive self-talk that I used to do is I would take a Sharpie, not a Sharpie, but a Expo marker, and I would write on my mirrors. And I would write on it like maybe Bible scriptures, that says I could do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me. I would say, also put even think to myself, like, I am fearfully and wonderfully made, because I'm made in the image of God. So there's different things that you can put around your house. Maybe you're not one to use an Expo marker, or maybe you don't want to use an Expo marker on your mirror. You can always write sticky notes, and you can put the sticky notes everywhere around your house. So in your bathroom, on your front door, before you open it to go out, in your kitchen, on your kitchen table. I don't know, but whatever it is that's going to remind you of who you are in a positive way. You want to point out your strengths. What are some strengths that you have about yourself? and try to thrive on those strengths. And in that, when you are engulfing yourself with all that positivity, that should help gain your self-esteem back. And let me tell you, you also want to make sure that you want to believe what you're saying, what you're putting, and what you're saying. You really want to ponder on it too. You know, when you are putting on that sticky note, I am smart, then ponder on it. You know what? I am smart. You know, I am smart. How do I know that I'm smart? And try to think of ways or instances that you really felt that you were smart for doing. Like, look, I worked out that math problem, and not everybody can work out math because they ain't good. They're not good at math. Okay, so try to ponder on that thing and really think of ways that give yourself examples of how you were smart. Or even if you put I am beautiful or handsome, what was a time that you really felt beautiful? You really felt handsome, you know, and this is the time where you don't look at what people have said, you know, but you look at when was the time that you felt within yourself that you were. So that is one thing that I would bring out. Another thing that I would say is you don't want to compare yourself to others. Because when you find yourself comparing yourself to others, then you're not going to be satisfied. You are uniquely and wonderfully made, and you have to know that within yourself. And that's what I love about God, because God reminds me, you know, every day that, hey, Jasmine, you are beautiful. You are uniquely and wonderfully made, you know, and I always remind myself of that, because there are times when you do feel like, man, you know, I don't feel like this today. I don't feel beautiful today. Or I don't feel like I'm smart today. But I always go back to the Word of God, because it's Jesus Christ that really helped me in making and letting me know that, Jazz, you know what, you will make it. You are beautiful. You will be successful. And so don't compare yourself to people. Because most of the times when you're comparing yourself to people because they look one way, if they look in one way, it's usually they're not what they look like. Okay? And if they are what they look like, I mean, you can't live your life off of someone else, because you're not going to be able to be that person. You aren't that person. So you can only live the life that was handed to you. So I would say don't compare yourself to someone else, but you learn how to be happy within yourself and to be happy where you're at in your life. And if there is room for improvement, don't be afraid to improve those areas. And that will touch on the next thing that I wanted to bring up. You want to focus on the things that you can change. You know, someone that has been, for instance, and this is just an example, because I know individuals that have been made fun of for this particular thing, is that because they were too short. So this person is being made fun of because they're too short. And so therefore it caused that person to have low self-esteem. So can that person that's short change at the part that they're short? No. They can alter it and maybe put on heels, but I mean, you can't change that. So you want to only focus on the things that you can change. So it might be something that in your life that you can't change, but try to enhance other areas. And what I mean by that, try to pull strengths in other areas than to try to focus on trying to change one that is going to be impossible for you to change. Another thing that I would say that will gain your self-esteem is that you have to learn how to have fun. Okay, do the things that make you happy. Do the things that you know that you don't have to be engulfed around a lot of individuals that's just there to cause you to be down. Okay, you want to make sure that you have the right people in your life. Don't invite people in your life that's just going to bring you down, because then that will enable you to have that low self-esteem. So you want to make sure that you are involved with people that are going to celebrate you and that's going to be happy to be around you, and that wants to see you go forward, that wants to see you be successful, that encourages you, and that's there to really help you. And I think that that's something that's very important, to make sure that you have a group of people that's a positive group of people. Another thing that I would say is don't be afraid of letting that individual know that have offended you in a way that made you feel like you're not good enough, or that gave you that, or that caused you to have that low self-esteem based off what somebody said, or what that person said, don't be afraid to confront that. And if you can't, that's one thing. But if you do have the opportunity to confront, you obviously want to do it the right way. But it's easy when you can. It's okay to talk to the person. Like, hey, when you said that really hurt my feelings. And, I don't appreciate that. So don't be afraid to voice it. Because then that will release, that within yourself, that pressure within yourself. And you're able to tell them, hey, this is what you did. And that person can either choose to acknowledge it, and then that person can choose not to acknowledge it. So this is what I say, is that if you feel like you can handle that in confronting the individual, then confront that individual. Okay? But if you can't confront them because maybe they're not nowhere around, or you just feel like you're just not ready to confront, then you can always do the things that I've listed prior to help you to gain that self-esteem. So I think that list within itself that I gave you guys can go on forever and ever, but hopefully the things that I did mention to help you gain your self-esteem was very insightful, and hopefully you were able to apply it to your life in any way, shape, or form. I thank you all so much for your time. I'll see you guys again on another No Fear topic. You guys have a great day. Bye.